Hey guys, Ron White here. A medical student recently contacted me and said, Ron, I have some medical terminology that I need to memorize, but I also need to memorize the parts of the body. How can I memorize this? And really, what's going on when a medical student or any student can't memorize data, it's because it is meaningless. The key to memory is to make the meaningless meaningful. So, that oftentimes involves creating images or stories or something that we can relate to. So I had this medical student email me exactly what he wanted to memorize. And he gave me an example. He said, Ron, here's an example. I need to memorize the 9 regions of the abdomen, but I also need to know what is inside of each region. So there's going to be 2 parts to this video. The first part is I'm going to show you how to memorize the 9 regions of the abdomen. And then the next part is I'm going to show you how to memorize what is inside of each of those regions. But let's just dive into it. Let me show you what he sent to me on the regions of the abdomen. These are the 9 regions of the abdomen. You have the hypochondriac right and left region, the lumbar region right and left, the iliac region right and left, and then the epigastric region, umbilical region, and hypogastric region. Now, these are the 9 regions. The first thing that we'll address in this video is how to remember the 9 regions. But before we dive into that, I kind of want to show you what is inside of each one of these regions so you can grasp why he was stressed. Inside the right hypochondriac region, you have the gall bladder, the intestine, the right kidney, the liver. Inside the left hypochondriac region, you have the spleen, pancreas, left kidney, stomach, intestine, liver's tip. Well, inside the right lumbar region, you have the ascending colon, intestine, right kidney, left lumbar region, the left kidney, the intestine, the descending colon. The right iliac region, you have the cecum, the appendix, the small intestine, the ascending colon. Inside the left iliac region, you have the sigmoid colon, the small intestine, and the descending colon. But that's a lot. Oh, we're not even done. The epigastric region, the spleen, the liver, adrenal glands, pancreas, stomach, duodenum, umbilical region, small intestines, transverse colon, duodenum, and the hypogastric region, the reproductive organs, the intestines, the bladder, the sigmoid colon. This is a lot of information. Boom, the 9 regions. What is inside of each 9 regions? So that is the quantity of the information. Now, don't panic here. See this picture? If you can remember this picture, you can memorize all of it. That's it. This picture right here, if you can remember this picture right here, you will remember all the data. I am not kidding you. Stick with me. I'm going to show you exactly how. Now I'm going to focus on, we're going to memorize the 9 regions of the abdomen. So let's get focused on that right now. I want you to see these 2 pictures. Epi, the prefix epi, E-P-I, I think of the word epic, and I think of a dragon flying over a city. Wow, that is epic. Look at that dragon flying over the city. Ooh, it's epic. Epi, the prefix epi, means above or over. So it makes sense that the dragon is flying over the city. Hypo sounds like a hippo, the animal, hippopotamus. Hypo means below or under. So I want you to imagine those hippos are really close to the ground. So the prefix epi, let's think of epic, a dragon flying over the city. The prefix hippo, hypo, low to the ground, low, under. That's what it means. Let's keep going. On this picture right here, see the umbilical region? We're not even going to try to memorize that because I think we all know where our umbilical cord is, okay? It's our belly button. So let's just say we know that. Flying out of the belly button, I want you to imagine a dragon. And it flies out and it sits right on top of your belly button. Underneath your belly button is a hippopotamus. And think of that belly fat right under your belly button. A hippopotamus is fat, right? It's a fat animal. So right below your belly button, you've got all that hippopotamus. Above your belly button, a dragon flies out and sits on top of the belly button. It kind of looks like this. Epic, epi, hippo stands for hypo. This is the epigastric region and the hypogastric region. So we've just memorized the middle region now. Epic, ooh, it's epic that a dragon is on top of your belly button. The hippo, the fat, is below your belly button. It means below. Epigastric, above. Hypogastric, below. Umbilical region. Boom. You got that section. Now let's focus on the outer sections. Hypochondriac. Well, that reminds me of a person who is a hypochondriac. Imagine this girl and she's wearing a mask. She doesn't want to catch any diseases because she's a hypochondriac. She's standing on lumbar for lumbar. Hypochondriac on lumbar for lumbar. And then when I see the word iliac, I think of the city of Troy, because in the story, the Iliad, it's that ancient story. The Iliad was about the city of Troy, where there was a Trojan horse. So when we think of iliac, we see that Trojan horse. Iliac reminds us of the Iliad. So you have a hypochondriac standing on lumbar in the city of Troy, the Iliad, iliac. So let's go back here. You have a hypochondriac standing on lumbar in the city of Troy, the iliac. That is hypochondriac region, lumbar region, and iliac region. Above your belly button is epic. It is the epigastric region. Below the belly button, below hypogastric region. And then I left these others blank over here because I think you know it's right and left. Now, the only thing to keep in mind is it's reversed. It's the right and left of the person you're looking at, not your right and left, but I think you know that. Let's keep going. And what's at the top? The hypochondriac. So you have the right hypochondriac region. What is the hypochondriac standing on? Lumbar. So that is a lumbar region. And where are they doing it? In the city of Troy, from the story, the Iliad, the iliac region. So you have hypochondriac, lumbar, iliac. And then you have above the belly button, the epigastric region. It is epic. Below it, hypogastric region below. Looks like this. I'm going to put all this below in the description of the video. If you didn't get it, it's down below in the description of the video. Keep going, though. Girl slips on liver's tip. Just think about that for a second. A girl, see a girl, and she slips on a liver's tip. A girl walking along, she slips on a liver's tip. No big deal. Okay, got it. Now I want you to see a bunch of wood, a bunch of lumber, and air leaves the lumbar's lid. What is the lid to lumbar? I don't know, like a lid to a jar. Imagine there's a lid on top of the lumbar. Just a silly story. It doesn't really mean anything. Air leaves lumbar's lid. Casa of Sid. Casa means house in Spanish. Just remember Casa of Sid, your friend Sid. Slaps the duodenum. Slaps the duodenum. Sits on the duodenum. Ribs. That's it. If you can remember those 8 phrases, you can remember 80% of this information right there. Remember this. Girl slips on liver's tip. Girl slips on liver's tip. Well, let's go down here and see what that means. Girl, inside the hypochondriac region, which is a girl, that's easy to remember, it's a girl, right? Is the gallbladder, the intestine, right kidney, and liver. So the acronym GIRL stands for gallbladder, intestine, right kidney, liver. Again, I'm going to put this in the description of the video if you miss it. Girl slips on liver's tip. Before we get to that, though, let's see if we can fill in the blanks. What was G? Gallbladder. I? Intestine. R? Right kidney. L? You got it. Liver. Now let's go to the rest of the story. Girl slips on liver's tip. Well, what could that mean? Girl slips on liver's tip. So we go to the other side of the hypochondriac region. Slips. Spleen, left kidney, intestines, pancreas, stomach, and then at the end, liver's tip. Girl slips on liver's tip. Girl slips on liver's tip. That is the left and right side of the hypochondriac region. S, spleen, L, left kidney, I, intestines, P, pancreas, S, stomach. If you need to reinforce this in your memory, watch this video a few times or look in the description of the video. Let's see if we can fill in the blanks. Spleen. What's L? You got it. Left kidney. I, intestines. P, you got it. Pancreas. And S, stomach. Girl slips on liver's tip. So now we've memorized the 9 regions. And when we think of hypochondriac, we think of that girl. And we remember girl slips on liver's tip. So now we've got the 9 regions memorized, plus 2 of the 9 we know what's inside of them. Let's keep going. Let's review. We have a hypochondriac and the top, a girl, and she's standing on lumbar, and then down at the bottom in the city of Troy, the iliad, the iliac. So we have hypochondriac, lumbar region, iliac region. In the middle, the dragon, epigastric, and then down below, the hypogastric. See that story? The hypochondriac standing on lumbar, the city of Troy, iliad, iliac region, epigastric, hypogastric. Let's go inside of the regions now, the lumbar region. When you think of the lumbar region, I want you to think of air. Air is seeping out of that lumbar. Air stands for ascending colon, intestine, right kidney. Air stands for ascending colon, intestine, right kidney. What does it stand for? The lumbar region. Imagine this air. Imagine air is seeping out of that wood. Air is coming out of the wood. Ascending colon, intestine, right kidney. Now, air leaves the lumbar's lid. Well, lid is just like a lid on a jar. So you just imagine that there's a lid on this wood. Lid is for left kidney, intestine, descending colon. Left kidney, intestine, descending colon. What is this? Air leaves the lumbar's lid. Air seeping out of there, and there's a lid on it. Left kidney, intestine, descending colon. Now you have memorized the regions and what is inside the hypochondriac and the lumbar region. You've got 4 of the 9 memorized. This is something you may have to review, but I'm going to walk you through how to do this. Again, here's the blank spots. Your brain should be able to look at this and at least fill in these. The hypochondriac standing on the lumbar in the city of Troy for the iliad, iliac region, lumbar region, hypochondriac region, epigastric region, hypogastric region, hippo, epic. And then it's right and left. You should have the 9 regions memorized very easily at this point. Let's look at the girl on the top left. The girl slips on the liver's tip. And then you have to just remember what the G, the I, the R, and the L stand for. On slips, remember what that stands for. The lumbar region, air leaves the lumbar's lid. Air and lids. Air and lid. Now, let's at the very bottom here, the iliac region. Remember the CASA of Sid? The CASA of Sid. Imagine the city of Troy. That house over there is the CASA of Sid. See that house in the background? That is the CASA. CASA is a Spanish word that means house. It's the CASA of Sid. The cecum, appendix, small intestine, ascending colon. Cecum, appendix, small intestine, ascending colon. Cecum, appendix, small intestine, ascending colon. CASA of Sid. Sid is the sigmoid colon, the intestine, the small, and descending colon. Sigmoid colon, intestine, and descending colon. The CASA of Sid, the CASA of Sid. Cecum, appendix, small intestine, ascending colon. If you can't get all this right now, just look at my description and the description of my words in the description of this video. So you have the 9 regions right here. You should be able to remember the hypochondriac standing on lumbar in the city of Troy, and Then just go through and remember, girl slips on the liver's tip, and and the acronym is girl and slips. Air leaves the lumbar's lid. Air and lid are the acronyms. And then down here at the bottom, the CASA of SID. CASA and SID are the acronyms. And then you just have to remember what each of those mean. Here are the 9 regions again: the epigastric region right there in the middle above the belly button, and the hypogastric below the belly button. Now, speaking of the epigastric region, I want you to imagine that dragon is reaching down and slaps the duodenum. Slaps the duodenum. A dragon, see the dragon with a slapping motion. Slap for spleen, liver, adrenal glands, pancreas, stomach, duodenum. The dragon, it's epic. The epigastric region slaps the duodenum. Spleen, liver, adrenal glands, pancreas, and stomach. And then you got to remember the duodenum at the end. The umbilical region. On this one, I put SI for small intestine. Just think of on the duodenum, right there, you're sitting on the duodenum, right there on your belly button. Sit on the duodenum. See that action on the belly button. Sit on the duodenum. Small intestine, transverse colon, duodenum. It's the hippos, right? On this, I just want you to imagine one thing. You're looking at those hippos and you're seeing their ribs. Their ribs are so obvious. Well, ribs stand for reproductive organs, intestines, bladder, and sigmoid colon. On the hippopotamuses, their ribs are so obvious. The hypogastric region, reproductive organs, intestines, bladder, and sigmoid colon. Reproductive organs, intestines, bladder, and sigmoid colon. Guys, look, if this video is overwhelming to you, I think if you watch it 1 or 2 more times, plus look at the words in the description, it's going to make perfect sense. Here are the 9 regions. What do we have over on the left? The hypochondriac, standing on lumbar. Hypochondriac region, lumbar region, iliac, Iliad, the city of Troy, Iliad region, iliac region. The epigastric region, epic, and the hypogastric region, hippo. Then inside of each one of those, we remember them because the girl slips on the liver's tip. Girl, we need to remember what that stands for. Slips, we need to remember what that stands for. And then liver's tip is also part of the story. The lumbar region, air leaves the lumbar's lid. Air and lid are the 2 acronyms. Down at the bottom, CASA of SID, we need to remember the acronym for CASA and the acronym for SID, and it is the iliac region because of the city of Troy in the story of the Iliad. That's the city of Troy, the Trojan horse. So look at this. You should have it actually all memorized now. We're going to review a little bit more, but you've memorized the 9 regions. So let's just review real quick the last couple regions there, because they were at the end. The epigastric region, the dragon slaps the duodenum. Slaps stands for spleen, liver, adrenal glands, pancreas, stomach, duodenum. Umbilical region, sit on the duodenum. Just imagine somebody sitting on the duodenum. Small intestines, transverse colon, duodenum. Small intestines, transverse colon, duodenum. Hippopotamuses, imagine you can see their ribs so vivid. Ribs stand for reproductive organs, intestines, bladder, sigmoid colon. Reproductive organs, intestines, bladder, and sigmoid colon. So guys, here's the picture. If you can remember this picture right here, if this is all you remember, if you remember this picture right here, it should tell you the entire story of everything you need to know. This is it. This picture tells you the entire story. The hypochondriac region, girl slips on liver's tip. Remember the acronym there. Lumbar region, air leaves the lumbar's lid, air and lid. And iliac region, the city of Troy, That's the CASA of Sid right there, the CASA of Sid. And then the epigastric region, epic, slaps the duodenum. The umbilical region, sit on the duodenum. And the bottom one right there, the hypogastric region, ribs. Just remember the word ribs. You can see those hippopotamus's ribs. Folks, if you can remember that image right there, that's it. Remember this image, and you will remember the whole story. That should be remarkable to you. If you can remember that one image, you will remember the entire thing, because you'll see the regions, and then inside of the regions, you just remember those stories. Now, that is the first method, and really that's the way I would suggest that you do this. I teach other methods known as the mind palace and the memory palace. If you have watched my channel or you have my black belt memory course, you may be familiar with the mind palace method. I'm not going to go into it in this video, but it is an alternative method to memorizing this, where you would use 9 rooms in your mind palace and just put those in the 9 rooms. I didn't use the mind palace for this because I don't think it's necessary. You really just want to use the mind palace for situations where you can't visualize it like this and you have to stick it in a room somewhere. So guys, if you like this video, I hope you give me a thumbs up. Watch this several times and you should have it entirely memorized. Look down below in the description and I'll break it down there as well. If you do not have my black belt memory course, click the link down below and I got a free gift for you so you can get my black belt memory course. It's really what you need to take your memory to the next level, and you'll get it has everything to do with memory. This is kind of an excerpt, but it has everything from names to numbers to speeches to everything in there. Black belt memory, links in the comment. I'll see you on the next video.